What is good, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
All right, so today we're going to be doing our first style of this kind of video. So we are doing a top 10 favorite song of a certain band, and a band that we are going to be talking about today is going to be none other than Philly's own Britny Fox.
Hell yes.
I got the idea from Hair Metal Guru and also Michael Kelly Smith as well. And certainly it's going to be an interesting one for me because, like if you guys know my story, I was literally in the womb listening to Cinderella, Britny Fox, and Poison. And those were the cassettes that were always in the family car. So these songs have been with me since I had been 1 hour old at least. I'm sure my dad was probably playing them while I was in the hospital still. So definitely a big part of my life. And also too, like definitely, I think so. When I'm doing this kind of ranking, because I suck at rankings, because how can I pick just 10? How can I just pick a top 50 hair metal album? Like how can I just pick 50 of them? Like rankings are so hard for me, but I think I managed to do 10 here, 10 songs, and it was tough, but I think now, like I said, this is 10 of my favorite songs. Now that doesn't mean the best songs, or that doesn't mean the most popular songs either. So definitely, like, there will be no Girlschool on this list, surprisingly. So that, yes. So when I think of it like this, because like obviously I am only 31 years old, born in 92. So I missed a lot of when this stuff was mainstream, when hair metal was mainstream. So when I don't, as someone who is say like 45 or 50 years old that lived through the hair metal genre, I don't remember the singles like you guys remember the singles. So when I think of albums, like when I always listen to these albums when I was growing up and when I was finding new stuff, digging deep into the hair metal genre, when I was a teenager all the way up until now, I listen to it on an album basis. There isn't, I don't go by singles per se. Like singles don't bring back memories for me like it would you. So, but the albums do, and the deep cuts do for me, certainly. Obviously, because I'm listening to the whole album and not just what MTV or the radio is playing. That was never a part of my, way of finding music, certainly. So, that is why some of these singles that you guys are probably expecting to hear are not going to be on this list. But that is what I think try to really bring to this channel, to the Crash Course Metal Show, is the forgotten songs, albums, and bands, and just that's just how my brain works. That's just how I see things. And but definitely no, that doesn't mean Girlschool's bad. That doesn't mean Save the Week is bad. That doesn't mean anything like that. They're all still great songs. Britny Fox is a top 5 band for me. So, with that being said, definitely let us start here with number 10. And that is going to be from the Boys in Heat album, Left Me Stray. So, this is the 12th track on the 13-track album, which is kind of crazy to think about because 1989, this album. Okay, so first and foremost, this album should have been certified something, which it wasn't. It only from Michael Kelly Smith, from his numbers that I've asked him, because I was like, I'm seeing different numbers and different like certification and stuff. So like I want to get as close to the source as possible. So I asked Michael Kelly Smith like what his numbers were for certainly these first 3 albums. And so he said that uh Boys in Heat was around 350,000 sold. And man, it now, for a little bit of background, they did not have a full tour for this album. So certainly, and especially if they would have went out with Kiss, like the original plan was, this album would have certainly went gold just based on if they had a full tour, because obviously Dizzy Dean ends up leaving the band. The band gets in a little bit of a fight. So Dizzy goes on and does the Black Eyed Susan gig. So, but yeah, so we're talking about Britny Fox here. So we're sadly not going to talk about Black Eyed Susan or Michael Kelly's other project, after Britny Fox, Razamanaz, which could have easily made some of the some songs could have made that list if we did a Britny Fox a Britny Fox world list, just anything related to Britny Fox. But so Left Me Stray though, awesome song. Like this is just a fun song. I just like the way Dizzy sings this song. A great guitar riffs, and that I won't be saying that probably a lot is Dizzy's vocals and also the guitar riffs that Michael Kelly brings to the table and the solos too. So I might be a little bit of a broken record when I'm talking about these songs, and it's just, but that's the formula that works for Britny Fox. And obviously, we get the comparison. A lot of people talk shit on Britny Fox that I see in groups, like on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. Like, people don't really give Britny Fox a chance because they're the knockoff Cinderella. I mean, for Christ's sakes, like two guys, Tony Destra and also Michael Kelly Smith, were original members from Cinderella that the record company was like, hey, Tom, Eric, you guys should do your own, or like kick these guys out, basically. Basically, they had to drop. That Michael Kelly and Tony Destra had to move on from Cinderella, and then they ended up forming Britny Fox. So obviously, there are going to be some similarities to these two bands from both from Philly, and it's just when I see people like just talk shit and just say, "Oh, they're just a Cinderella knockoff."
You know what I'd like to do to you now, New Bomb? I'd like to kick the crap out of you. That's what I'd like to do.
Obviously, you haven't really listened to all three of the original three albums because there's some great stuff that holds up to anything Cinderella did as well. So, and Cinderella's my favorite band, number one. Now, Britny Fox does crack the top three all time for me. So, yeah, I definitely hold all of the Cinderella albums and the Britny Fox albums in high regard, especially up against each other then. So, when they Left Me Stray, really good guitar riffs, great soloing. But yeah, when you compare Cinderella, let me just finish this point. If you just compare Cinderella and Britny Fox just based on the sound of Dizzy and Tom and nothing else, you get out of here with that bullshit. I ain't interested to hear what else you had to say because you obviously haven't listened to all the Britny Fox albums.
You with that bullshit.
Definitely, I just wanted to say that because like I get tired of hearing those kind of comparisons. And yes, there are similarities, but it's not straight copycat ripping off. No, great songs on both sides and their own original flavor as well. So, but coming in number 10, Left Me Stray. Alrighty, guys, coming in here at number 9, we are going to the debut. And now there isn't too much on this list from the debut, but we are going to go with Kick and Fight in our number 9 spot. I absolutely love the cowbell on this song. Just right from the start, you hear that cowbell, and it just works really well within the song here. Great guitar tone from Michael Kelly as well. Just great lyrics. It's now I will say because I don't like I said, all these albums I grew up with, I have multiple copies. Obviously, as you can see behind me, there's a second copy of this album, and I have multiple copies on CD from every album that they released. So certainly, when I say I don't really care as much for the debut as say, Bite Down Hard or Boys in Heat, that's not a knock on the debut. It's just something obviously has to go, below those two, and it's the debut. And I think just over time for me, I tend to visit a lot more Boys in Heat and a lot more Bite Down Hard. So, that and just moving back a little bit from the debut, but there's still really great stuff like Kick and Fight as well. But yeah, definitely great stuff. I mean, what else can you say? Yes, great soloing all the way through, great guitar tone, and I just really like the chorus in the song. Kick and Fight, good, really, really catchy stuff. And it's just a little bit of a slower to mid tempo, or like a mid tempo song. Nothing really fast either, but man, it's certainly one that not many people talk about when they talk about the debut. So definitely check that one out, guys. All right, coming in here at number 8, we are going back to Boys in Heat. Now, yes, we are going to go with She's So Lonely. I absolutely love Dizzy's vocal delivery on this, and also the intro guitar riffs. But Michael Kelly kind of does that throughout the whole song, and it's just like like it's a great beat to it, and nothing else. I can't really say this song doesn't really sound like anything else they ever done, and that's the thing too. Like Britny Fox doesn't really have songs that sound similar. Now when you do go to Bite Down Hard, there are maybe like one or two songs that kind of sound a little similar. If you're not really like paying attention or going through the weeds with it, like just paying close attention, you might be like, oh, that riff somewhat sounded like another song, but at least they're killer riffs. So like I'm more than happy to have something that sounds the same, when it comes to that. But definitely She's So Lonely. Now, I guess maybe some people might cringe at some of the lyrics, but lyrics are fine. I mean, it's just that she was lonely and she came back to Dizzy, like it. I mean, it's just, I can see, people that don't like hair metal would be like, oh, yeah, there's lyrics or whatever, but it's not like straight up like Cherry Pie or 17 or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, but if people want to have issues with the lyrics, this is probably the one song that might have a little bit of an tongue in cheek type lyric to it. So, but another thing too, I know a lot of people don't like the Boys in Heat album cover here, but man, I absolutely love it. One of my favorites. I remember when I was in the attic when I was a kid and looking at the cassette, and I'm like, this album cover is really cool. I like the cartoon deal. They were like badass kids or badass boys just like hanging out in the alley there, it looks like. So definitely one of my favorite album covers of the 80s too. So all right, we are staying here with number 7, and that is going we're gonna be staying with Boys in Heat here, and that's going to be the ballad Dream On. Great song, great ballad. Now, I will say this, if Dream On was on the debut, that debut would have hit platinum because Save the Week is a weak ballad, especially for 88. I would say like that's like the heyday of ballads and, being pushed, ballads being pushed, and certainly missed the mark, especially with two strong singles that came out with Long Way to Love and Girlschool off the debut. Save the Week was a weak ballad as a single, I think. And if Dream On was on that album, I think that alone would have helped pushed it to platinum. And then also, I think because from what Michael told me, the debut is around 900,000 copies sold. So that is really close as it is to platinum. And even if they just had a normal tour as well for the Boys in Heat tour, that alone probably would just push it to platinum all by itself without even having like Dream On it or a really good ballad. So yeah, but no, Dream On, they did releases as a music video as well for on Boys in Heat. And it really reminds me though of Cinderella. I know I just talked about the comparisons to Cinderella, but if anyone's familiar with the Coming Home uh music video from Cinderella, how they're kind of like in that Midwestern Southern style dead end bar, like and they're just playing there to like one guy. This the Dream On is kind of similar, like has that like South Midwestern setting to it. And Dizzy Dean's kind of like just playing on like some kind of porch, or like it just has the same feel to it. But I will say, Dream On though, the Aerosmith version has no chance. I listen to Britny Fox's Dream On way more, 10 times more. I can't remember the last time I listened to Dream On from Aerosmith. I think I got tired of that song when I was 14. Now, but Dream On from Britny Fox, I still play that. When it comes on the ballad playlist or just in general, that song does not get skipped. Really good. Great lyrics in it as well. And that's the thing. Britny Fox does have good lyric, like storytelling lyrics in some of these songs. And it's just absolutely, I think that it's somewhat overlooked when we're talking Britny Fox because everyone talks about Dean's voice or Tommy's voice or, the guitar work from Michael Kelly. even Billy's bass work. Like Billy's bass work has good parts on these albums. And if obviously if you're not really like listening to it, you might miss it, but certainly it's there. And you're like, oh shit. And then Johnny's drumming is just awesome. He's not playing with Doro for no reason right now. So definitely Dream On is coming in at number 6 here, guys, and it's just a great ballad. Great ballad at all. Now I could have put Look My Way in here from Bite Down Hard because I do really enjoy that ballad as well. But I think I just like the lyrical content in Dream On a little bit more. It's a little bit more aware, or I don't know what, more serious, I guess, than just your typical ballad like Look My Way was, which is still a great ballad. But I think I just do enjoy Dream On more, a little bit more than Look My Way. But Look My Way comes in second place as far as ballads go with coming from Britny Fox. Alrighty, guys, coming in here at number 6, we got Six Guns Loaded off of Bite Down Hard, 1991. Now, this album here, one of my favorites from Britny Fox. Now, I did do a Britny Fox ranking. So if you want to know exactly where all 4 albums go, just click the link right above here and check that out after this video. But as of now, I am putting Six Guns Loaded, the opening track, on here because great fast-paced song, kicks ass, and also too, I'm a big Zakk Wylde fan. Love his guitar work, love his solo, his actual like Zakk Wylde solo stuff, and you have here back and forth solos between Zakk Wylde and Michael Kelly Smith. Does it get much better than that, guys? That alone could easily make that song number 1 here on this list. But there are some better songs that are more my favorite that I visit a little bit more. But just that alone, like having Zakk Wylde doing like a solo here, and then Michael Kelly coming in for the second solo, like what the hell is going on? Like how wasn't this song more well known? Just crazy. But Tommy Paris, this is not the only song that Bite Down Hard will have on this list, but Bite Down Hard, yes, is an amazing album. Just got overlooked, and I think even Michael Kelly said it was somewhere around 200,000 that this sold. Now, yes, it's 1999, or yeah, not 1999, 1991, and certainly this kind of stuff, especially when you lose Dizzy Dean, people just kind of forgot about Britny Fox, even though it only came out roughly 2 years from when Britny Fox, or when Dizzy Dean left Britny Fox. So like, because even my dad, I have to admit, my dad only was aware of the Dizzy era, and he introduced me obviously to Britny Fox, like I said earlier. But I actually introduced him to the Tommy Paris era because I ended up finding this album when I was early teens, and I'm like, I found the CD, and I'm like, oh my God, I never seen this anywhere, what in all my years of collecting hair metal and stuff. And I found it for a couple dollars. I'm like, I am getting this. And ever since then, I never looked back. This album has been one of my favorite Britny Fox albums, and just great stuff all the way around. Tommy's vocals are great on this album and on the song. But yeah, so it's funny because now me and my dad always have a little fight, like as in, oh man, Tommy era, like Bite Down Hard, yeah, better than Dean's albums, and he's a Dean guy, but he likes the Tommy Paris era too. But he's the Dean guy, he's on the Dean side. But certainly, nonetheless, Bite Down Hard is great, and also Six Guns Loaded with Zakk Wylde, awesome. And then also too, another thought I had, because Ricky Rocket does percussions on this album, or sorry, on Midnight Moses, the final track on this album, and I asked Michael Kelly Smith, like, how was Ricky involved? Because Zakk Wylde was involved in Six Guns Loaded because he was in the same studio doing No More Tears with Ozzy. So he just came over and decided to do a solo with him, and that which is badass. But Michael Kelly couldn't really remember how Ricky Rocket got on the album or on this song. And my only thought to that is that Poison released in 1991 Swallow This Live. They did a live album, but they also had studio songs, like a couple studio songs, like "Tell Me Why." A couple of them that they added at the end of that album, and maybe he was in the studio for those couple songs, and same studio. I don't know. That's the only thing I can really think of because they did do this in California, I believe, and so like that's kind of where everyone was at the time. So that's an interesting thought. I don't know. If anyone has any information on that, leave a comment. Let me know because Michael seems to forget, and I haven't never heard anything else on that. So that's my thoughts behind there. That's my theory. I'm gonna stick to it. So, guys, coming in at number 6, it is Six Guns Loaded. Already coming in at number 5 here, guys. We are sticking with Bite Down Hard, and that is Shot from My Gun. So the intro, there's like some kind of yell, like some kind of like might be like a reverse, like spliced reversed yell coming in like real deep. And it's not, I don't, well, it might be Tommy, but it's not like his actual clean vocal, but it's just like some guy just like yelling. And it's like, and then that comes in that riff from Michael Kelly, and you're like, oh shit, like this is going to be something serious here. Like when I first had bought this out or found this album, I was like, this is my favorite Britny Fox song. Like now, over the years, I do visit some of the other ones, obviously, because it comes in here at number 5 a little bit more, or I just grown to love a couple other ones a little bit more. But still, that does not take anything away from Shot from My Gun. Not many people talk about it. I mean, not many people talk about many songs from this album, just to begin with, when you're talking Britny Fox. But man, there is a slew of good songs on here. Really good. Like I'm not gonna say where I'm gonna place it because I want you to go watch the Britny Fox ranking. But man, it's like criminally underrated. And also I did do it on the 1999 Forgotten Album series as well. If you want me to talk more about the album as a whole, just check it out right here. And definitely though, guys, Shot from My Gun, great solo, just heavy, it's just heavy, and that's the best way to explain it. Like up until this point, I would say Britny Fox hasn't done anything as heavy as this. Even the debut, because like the debut is a little raw, heavy sounding, like, but then in Boys in Heat, they did get a little bit more melodic in areas and a little bit more better produced, but this is decently well produced, but there is an edge to this. Like I always say on the channel, 1990 to 1993, look out. Sleaze is here, just like bluesy metals coming in, just great stuff, just edges everywhere, just sharp as a knife everywhere when it comes to these hair bands, and just absolutely awesome. And Bite Down Hard is no different. And Shot from My Gun is absolutely no different as well. One of the hardest songs on this album, certainly, other than the single, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So that is coming in here at number 5, guys, Shot from My Gun. All right, going down here now to number 4, and we are going back to Boys in Heat, guys. I told you I was not kidding. Boys in Heat is absolutely somewhat overlooked when it comes to Britny Fox, because everyone always talks about the debut. I mean, rightfully so, but, not for me. Plenty of Love is where I'm going right here at number 4 for this album. And I know Daddy Krash will co-sign this because Plenty of Love is probably my dad's top 2, top 3 Britny Fox songs in general, maybe even his favorite. So certainly I know he would co-sign it here at number 4. But yeah, the guitar solos on this song are absolutely great. Like classic, Michael Kelly Smith. If anyone's familiar with the Louder or the Shot from My Gun solos, there's a little bit of that feel on these solos on Plenty of Love. Now, obviously, as you could probably tell from the title of the song, what the song is about. So like there's no groundbreaking great storytelling type lyrical content here, but the music certainly holds it up. The soloing certainly holds it up. Dizzy's vocals certainly hold it up, and it's still a very good song though nonetheless. I mean, it's not like we're talking about Anvil or Diamond Rex style of lyrical content, but definitely I would say there are other songs on this list that have a more better storytelling type lyrical content here than Plenty of Love, but Plenty of Love easily comes in at number 4 for me, just based on the solos, based on the the delivery, vocal delivery from Dizzy. And then also, I mean, I enjoy the lyrical content on this. It's nothing like absolutely crazy or cringeworthy. No, not at the slightest. But on this list, it might be on the weaker side. But nonetheless, comes in at number 4. It's just an absolutely great song on a chock full of great songs album too. 13 tracks on this album, and I love every single one of them. Every single one of them. Now, you could have possibly took off the cover, Hair of a Dog, which is actually a really good cover. I probably prefer it more than Nazareth's version, but 13 tracks, you could just take out the cover. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. I'd say that. But nonetheless, great song here. Plenty of love.
Hey guys, my name is Lorraine Lewis from Femme Fatale, and you are watching and listening and learning from the Krash Kourse Metal Show with Trevor Krash Knight. Check it out. Yeah.
Alrighty, guys, we are here at the top 3. And now, yes, we are going back here to the debut. And we are going to go with Long Way to Love, one of the singles from this album. They did have a music video for this as well. Now, if you would have asked me 10 years ago if I would have had Long Way to Love in my top 3 Britny Fox songs, I would have said, are you crazy?
Are you mental?
Early on in my life, and even, like I said, even up until probably like 10, 15 years ago, this song wasn't my favorite. Like I said, it wouldn't have made a top 10. Still liked it, but like it wasn't one that I would probably skip a little bit more than I would actually seek it out and play it, like on the iPod or whatever. But man, every time it comes on, it does not get skipped anymore. The last like 5-10 years, man. Like I just absolutely, as I grown older, I appreciate it so much more. I think it's just an absolutely great song, over 4 minutes long. Like it's a longer song. Yeah. Not like an epic or anything, but like longer though. And it's just great melodic stuff here. And I absolutely love the solos at the end of the song. Now you do have your main solo, but then like when you think the solo is kind of like done, you do get a little bit like a short chorus there again. And then also Michael Kelly ain't done with the solo. He goes back into it again to end the song, which I think what some people might say is overkill, but not me. I'm a guitar solo guy. Like I look for the guitar solos in songs. Like if I don't like a song at first, but the guitar solo is good, I'm going to keep it around. I'm going to keep listening to the song, and I might actually grow to really like the song, which possibly might actually even happen to this song, actually, but like I said, I always did enjoy the song. The song, like I said, every song was played in my ears all my life. So like I don't think there's really like one Britny Fox song I'm like, I cannot listen to this. The closest one might be Save the Week. That's the closest one. But even then, sometimes I'll listen to it just because I do like the message in the song. I do like the message in Save the Week, but certainly not, a song that I would say, hey, you gotta check this out, But we were talking about Long Way to Love though still. So really good. I like the 2 like solos there at the end. Michael does a great job with that, but the bass is good as well. Just a great song from Dizzy, because like you do get a little bit of a cleaner feel from Dizzy's vocals from this song on this album. Like you don't get that too much on this album. Now when you go to Boys in Heat, yes, Dizzy starts bringing in his cleaner vocals, and I think I don't prefer it. Well, let me rephrase that. I like them both. I like the clean style of Dizzy, but I also like his raspier classic style sound voice like you hear a lot on the debut here. But I think with Long Way to Love, you get a little bit of a mixture of that, and I think it works absolutely great, and just really, really good stuff there. So definitely, guys, if you haven't already, this is probably the song that you guys probably do know out on this list, and that is Long Way to Love. Absolutely great. Alrighty, guys, number 2. Here comes 2. Okay, I promise. This is the last one from Boys in Heat. So, Angel in My Heart. Definitely, this is actually side by side with Left Me Stray on the track listings here on this. The second to last song, or no, Left Me Stray is the second to last song, and then before that is Angel in My Heart. But man, this is just now this when I was saying about the lyrical content of like great storytelling, has a great story to it. It's charming. It's charming lyrics in this song, and I think that's what for me has really grown to like it. Now, when I really first started diving into this album when I was in my teens, like when I started really collecting for myself and like just really starting to list, like I was never got a greatest hits guy either. So like I always just got the albums. And when I really like dove into each of these albums, I'm like, you know what? This Poison Heat, like it's longer, but like it's good. The best way I can describe Poison Heat though is I compare it kind of to like Dawkins Back for the Attack because like on even on Boys and Heat and Back for the Attack, there's no like true single, maybe other than Dream on Boys and Heat, but like no true single to where I could really pick out one song and send it to somebody and be like, yes. Now, Girlschool, Long Way to Love, yes. Like on that album, that is those singles on that album. But Boys and Heat, I think same thing with Back for the Attack. As an album, it's great songs to listen to as an album. But just to pick out one single, I don't know what that one single would be, because like they did have Standing in the Shadows, Dream On, as I think the two singles. I think they might be the only two singles, music videos anyway, that they had for this album. And Standing in the Shadows is a great song as well. That could have possibly made the list which I will go through honorable mentions here before we get to number one. But definitely, I would say I put Boys and Heat in that Back for the Attack. And, I absolutely love. That might be my favorite Dokken album, Back for the Attack. But where's that one true single? And don't count Dream Wars because that wasn't necessarily a part. It's on that album, but like that was made for the movies. Same thing with Cinderella Still Climbing with Hot and Bothered. Like how that was for Wayne's World. And then like a couple years later, they just threw it on Still Climbing. Same kind of like deal, with that. So, but yeah, guys, Angel of My Heart, just a great storytelling song. Just makes you feel good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else. I like Dizzy's delivery on it. More of a clean vocal feel on that song. And then you obviously have the band behind them doing what they do best. It's just like I said, it's gonna sound like a broken record because like Michael Kelly's just doing solos everywhere on this album, just great riffs all the way around. And then if you're listening, Billy's doing his thing and Johnny's doing his thing as well. So it's just really good, And Britny Fox is one of those bands that did get overlooked, and I don't know about forgotten. I mean, sure, forgotten because like they only have one gold record. When I kind of told you the numbers, and like if anything would have went their way, they would have had platinums, at least two platinums. So definitely maybe some bad luck all the way through the career, even starting all the way back in Cinderella, so definitely something to think about there. But nonetheless, though, Angel in My Heart, absolutely a great song. One of my favorites. Ever since I bought this album myself and really went through it, definitely one that always stuck to me. And I just absolutely love it. Whenever it comes on, I'm more than happy letting it play. I don't know if it ever got skipped, to be honest. So, but yeah, that's a real deep track, guys. That's a real deep track. So, guys, I'm just kind of looking through here. I want to give you guys some honorable mentions. So, like I said, Standing in the Shadows, Girlschool from the debut. Hold On, the last track, the final track from the debut as well. Oh man, and then you got like Bite Down Hard here. So I can go easily Black and White on this album. I can easily go Lonely Too Long. I can easily go Closer to Your Love. Well, man, it's hard. Like I said, Britny Fox does not have really one bad song. So this list was tough. But listen to Bite Down Hard and also Boys and Heat. I think you will definitely find some really good stuff that you were not aware of, and which is going to lead me to my number one. Finally, we are getting a number one, and that is going to be off of Bite Down Hard, and that is going to be the single, Louder.
Hey, now you speak my language here.
It does not get much better than Louder. Man, whenever I think of Britny Fox, or whenever I have a certain playlist on, whether that's workout, whether that's party playlist, whether that's just the mood playlist or any playlist, somehow louder, or whenever I'm out like doing like making reels or stuff, or just having like intro music or whatever, somehow louder is always in the selection for or around me. Like that song, great solo, good gang vocals as well, like backing vocals. And that's another thing, backing vocals throughout the whole discography for Britny Fox. That's another thing that they do are really good at, like gang vocals, similar to like Skid Row in spots. But yeah, I mean, guys, louder, great solo. They did do it. That I think this was the only music video that they did for this album, and man, it's just if you only want to listen to one song from Britny Fox, it has to be louder. I know Girlschool is like the biggest song, but I mean, if you got your normal metal fan, but not really a hair metal fan, sure, yes, I know metal fans that aren't hair metal fans that do enjoy Girlschool, but I think louder, especially in this day and age, louder would reach way more many people in the metal field than say Girlschool would, I think. Um Now yes, Girlschool, the time it came out, 88, obviously it was big. It's a great song. I like I said, I love that song. But if you're if you had to re-release like one song for metal radio or whatever, hypothetically, louder would be my choice to give to somebody, to the radio, to MTV again, whatever, to play, and for any metal fan. And it's that good. It's that good. Great. Tommy Paris's vocals awesome on that. Like Tommy Paris did a hell of a job coming in for Dizzy Dean, and like Dizzy Dean, when people think of Britny Fox, they think of Dizzy Dean, the voice of Britny Fox. And Tommy did his damnedest to change that. And for me, it's neck and neck. I love them both. I love Dizzy because obviously I grew up in the Dizzy, or I grew up with the Dizzy era because my dad only had the Dizzy era. And then when I was like 13 or 14, I found out about the Tommy Paris era, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. So definitely both of them for me are Britny Fox at the end of the day. So I cannot choose one over the other when it comes to vocals. Give me either, give me any of these albums, man. It's all good. Like I can't, and that's why these rankings for me, like these like lists, these numbered lists, are so hard for me because like one, like track number 2 could be number 10 or number 20 on any certain day. Like these could change, But like generally speaking, I think the top 3 kind of speak for themselves with me. But man, but like I said, louder. Ever since I found this Bite Down Hard album, I was like, fuck yeah, this is it right here. This is the song right here that I always go back to with Britny Fox. So, all right, guys, let me know your 10. Let me know. This is interesting because like not many people know a lot of the Britny Fox stuff. And then also another couple of honorable mentions I will say, because they did have a 4th album, Springhead Motorshark, and I do like a couple songs off of this. You got Pain. I like that song. You also have the title track, Springhead Motorshark, where it's just like Michael Kelly doing like a 3-minute instrumental, and the riff in that is awesome. If I do like, or when I do make mixtapes of Britny Fox, Springhead Motorshark, the single, is the one that does make it onto the mixtape. Like I like that riff in that song and just that instrumental so much. It's really, really good stuff. So definitely, guys, let me know what you think in the comments.
Talk to me.
I mean, this is a tough one for me, and obviously, like I said, Cinderella will be another tough one for me. But definitely, I want to know what you guys think, and let me know what you think of all the albums here. Which is your favorite album too? I'm always interested to see like what era or like what version of Britny Fox you guys really like, and because man, like I said, they're neck and neck for me. Like that's splitting hairs, man. So, guys, thank you for watching the Crash Course Metal Show. We love you here. I check out some of these live streams that we're doing here. We try to do them every Friday night, and we just want to build the community again of metal, of the live scene too, which there isn't much of a live scene anymore, sadly, for like our kind of metal. And that's what we try to do here at Crash Course Metal Show. We try to bring the community back. We try to have a community here, just a place where you just hang out, party, have a beer, grab some snacks, watch the live stream, bringing on all kinds of other guest musicians, bringing on other channels as well on the live streams. It's just a fun Friday night, like how it used to be in the golden years of metal, back in the 80s. That's the goal here. So, and we love bringing you guys the unforgotten and unknown bands as well from the 80s and also present day, which sadly, a lot of bands are getting overlooked these days. Young guys that are doing this style of metal, like your hair metal style, just real melodic stuff, real good with an edge though too. So, guys, click the subscribe button, hang out with us for a little while, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So until next time, guys, stay out of that collateral damage. Thank you for watching. And if you guys enjoyed this, watch the Britny Fox discography ranking right here.
Yeah, I wrote that. It's called I Want to Rock Your Body. And then in parentheses it says to the break of dawn.